all Iron Jock hoodies with the code HOODIE40. That's HOODIE 40. Shop now at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
This hour of Unsportsmanlike is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes and keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. nealgroup.net.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Well, that sucked. I love March Madness, too. I love it. So fun. And, man, we were at the Potawatomi Sportsbook yesterday. The place was wall-to-wall, jam-packed. Badgers fans, basketball fans. 83-82 the final. Wisconsin Badgers, the 5 seed, fall to the High Point Panthers, the 12 seed. Man, we talked about it. The 5-12, the 12-5 upset. Then we talked about the other ones that happen as well, the 7s and the 6s, the 10s, the 11s, etc. I'm real bummed. I thought they were
bunny rabbit poll go.
Bunny rabbit poll. Cats? Jeez, yeah. Chew. I stopped.
What the hell happened while I was gone? You guys taking polls on bunny rabbits and cats?
Hi, Gabe. Hi.
CJ, no, I don't totally believe you. I'm sorry.
Believe me about what? I stopped doing it. I only went halfway through.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the school that you went to.
Oh, well, since they were a non-factor this March, I think it's safe to throw your support behind. By the way, I did have people tell me yesterday, did you go to Marquette? Yeah. How can you root for the Badgers? Because I want to. It's pretty simple.
I agree. I don't get it.
I have what is called autonomy. You know, like if you don't want to, that's fine. You know, I was with Steve Novak, of course, Marquette sharpshooter, played in the NBA for almost a dozen years. And he would not root for the Badgers. He refused. He was wearing his Marquette Hall of Fame jacket, his Marquette gear, and he picked High Point in his bracket. He also picked Miami of Ohio, and he also picked, there was another, another upset. Who did Vandy play? I don't know. Who did Vandy play? Did Vandy end up winning?
Vandy, yes, they did.
Oh.
I got to pull up my bracket.
See, the Duke one killed me. I'm like, please lose, Duke. I can't stand Duke. Just please lose.
They almost did.
And they were getting worked.
And then I didn't realize, was that the McNamara kid from all those years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the coach.
He's the head coach at Siena. Wild. This is why I love
the
March.
kid who had a great run at Syracuse.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's Jerry or Gary? Jerry McNamara. Anywho, do you feel a certain way, Chew? I mean, now, again, it's always nice to have a team that's making a run. The Badgers have not made a run in a while. Again, Marquette not even in the tournament. It feels like a really lousy time.
It is,
to be
I called
sports
it,
fan.
So
what do you mean you called it?
First, you weren't even here.
Did you talk about it on the radio?
Yes.
No.
Chew, are you lying to me to try to get points?
Yeah, I'm lying. Definitely lying. See, I don't know. I gauge everything about football.
Yeah.
So we want Fickle gone.
Sure.
Wanted him last year. We understand why he's back because they don't want to pay 19 coaches. We get it. But what do we say about this? They haven't made a splash in how long?
8 years. Was the last time they made the Sweet 16? 9? Is it 9 now?
So is that the benchmark, Gabe?
Oh, yeah. Again, I would think for any program like Wisconsin, Sweet 16 is always the goal. Doesn't always mean it's a reality. But you would like to make it more often than they have. Where I stand on this, though, Chew, is I don't know how you would keep Fickle and fire Guard.
Yes,
That's
and I
a
like
tough
Guard.
one.
I like Guard, but it kind of feels a little Green Bay-ish here. A little Green Bay-ish.
But he's
little spinning of the wheels. The wheels are spinning.
He's done a really good job. So you take a look at the college basketball landscape, and I mean, obviously Wisconsin's struggling even for football, right? Like they're waiting to see if the governor's going to sign legislature about that was passed to help them pay for facilities so they can open up money for NIL stuff and all that at the University of Wisconsin. But they don't spend, obviously, top of the line for basketball either. Indiana spent $30 million this year, Chew. $30 million in basketball.
But they weren't even in the tournament.
And they didn't even make the tournament.
Wow.
So Guard has done a really good job with the money that is available to him. He's done a good job of raising some of that funds himself. Now, again, it's changed what the program is. You used to think Wisconsin grinded out tough defensive possessions. Defense has been the issue the last year. They lost by giving up 91 points to BYU last year, give up 83 to High Point this year. The next step in evolution is, okay, how do we make this still a fun place for transfers to want to come in and play offensive, high-tempo, high-octane basketball, but how do we figure out how to mix some of our defensive principles we had a decade ago into this as well?
Okay, let me ask you guys this, though. Is the bar been lowered? Because obviously they sniffed the national championship a long time ago. Is the bar now lowered to where Sweet 16 is like, okay, that's acceptable, and I don't even know where we're at with football.
Only because it's stages to success. It's steps to success. You don't jump from one and done in the tournament to winning the national title. So you have to back off on your expectations of, okay, we recognize that before we can win a national title, we probably got to get to the second weekend of March Madness, right? Then we probably got to be a team in the Elite Eight. And so we're sort of starting back at zero, and we're looking for that step to the 1, to the 2, to the 3, whatever it ends up being, to get to the ultimate goal, which is to win that national title. The Badgers blew an 8-point lead with 7 minutes left in the game. Is that choke, Chew?
Yeah, that's choke, especially against, I'm trying to, like I do, try to do the conversion from football. Would this be like Wisconsin in a crappy bowl losing to New Mexico?
No, because crappy bowls, Chew, you can make the excuse that you don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, some teams just don't care about the crappy bowl.
Gabe, how does this happen?
I mean, kid hit 7 threes in the second half.
I think you ran into a dangerous team.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens every year, Chew, right? We see the 12-5 all the time. In basketball, it's just one of those weird things. Like, basketball is better set why they do it in the NBA as a series. Because random things can happen in a basketball game, like a kid gets hot and hits 7 threes in the second half, makes a 2-point basket when he's never made a 2-point basket all season long. And if these teams played a 5-game series, Wisconsin's going to win the next 3.
So is this as simple as, all right, let's go get them next year?
I mean, I'm not saying don't be disappointed, right? Because I think there certainly is a disappointment. And I think that there are some things that Greg Gard is going to have to change when he hits the transfer portal, this summer. But given his track record of turning this program around into something that I did not think it could be, offensively at least, I have faith that he's still that right guy that is going to be able to figure this out.
Yeah, I like him.
Especially because, does it feel like he's really supported by the administration all that often?
Or just in spite of them? Like, he's just still there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we talk about football all the time. It feels like, and look, McIntosh was a football guy, right? And football is the engine, Chew, that drives everything. It drives all the revenue, so that's where all the attention goes. But I don't know how much support he's really ever had within that administration. So for him to have the success that he's had is still a win to me.
Well, with football, it's different because, I go back, my kids were recruited there. And back then it was like, kids didn't care facilities if you're a Wisconsin kid. Their dream is just to play at Wisconsin. Well, now they're not getting the Wisconsin kids, and the Illinois kids don't have that same excitement for the program. Like, your facilities suck. Like, that indoor facility, is that thing still there?
Oh, in the bowels of Camp Randall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is terrible.
But, I mean, they are spending money to
say, I believe they're actively building.
Yes.
But the fact that that's been in place for this long is like insane. And Jen, you've seen these programs now. They're unbelievable. That thing is a toilet. No, it is.
Yeah, I know.
Have you been in there?
Not for Chewy. It wasn't great when I was last in that thing
Years
over
ago,
a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it's still the same. That's why I'm laughing. Because I'm thinking about what it was the last time I was in there and the amount of time that's passed since I've been there.
I haven't covered a Badgers game one-on-one in 2020, I want to say. We all remember that fun year. But they used to bring the players to that space after the game, and that's where you did all the interviews. You didn't go into the locker room to interview them. They would bring them in there, and you just kind of mill around until they bring somebody. So, yes, I'm well aware. Perfect lighting in there, by the way. Excellent lighting in that indoor practice area. So let's take it beyond the Badgers because, of course, it is disappointing that they are out. But, of course, Marquette didn't even make the tournament. We're all disappointed in the way that the Bucks game has shaken out this season. We certainly can cling to the Brewers' success because they did make a deep run. They were one of the best teams in the National League and obviously got swept by the Monstars out there in L.A. I guess I'm waiting for something to pop. Gabe, I'm waiting for something to pop.
Well, just wait 6 more days. We got spring. We got opening day.
Mm-hmm.
We got opening day, and this Brewers team should be a pretty good one again. I think that's you just got to wait.
Got to get through
days.
the week.
Just got
through less than that. It's Thursday.
Yeah,
right?
next
Today's
Thursday,
Friday.
6 days.
6 days. Yeah, that's how the week works. Minus one. Jeez.
Very confused by whoever sent that tweet out, where it's like QB1 is starting the game. I'm like, what?
Of course you were. This is like when you and I got on Rashid versus Shaheed.
Wait, did you think that the Brewers had tabbed Jordan Love as the opening day starter?
I'm like, I didn't know they called their pitchers QBs.
Did you see that it was Jordan Love on the announcement?
Yeah. I couldn't really see the picture. He didn't look tall, so it wasn't the Miz.
Was there even a point of reference in the photograph, or was it just his silhouette?
Probably.
It was a picture of Jordan Love throwing out a first pitch, which I believe he's previously done before.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it couldn't have been more clear.
No,
I think he was wearing
you had
shorts.
to read it.
Nope.
You can't tell from the picture, Josh. He looked like Freddie Peralta.
Nope.
Okay, so Gabe, I'm appreciating your perspective on just wait 6 days. Baseball starts, hope springs eternal. Everybody's optimistic about the Brewers being, again, one of the best teams in the National League. Puts a lot of pressure on the Brewers season, though, Gabe, okay? This is like if I had, 5 kids. And they all were screw-ups.
Sure.
Except for that one. I got that one.
Yep.
And he's looking like he might be a pretty decent kid, right? Might even get into college. Now I'm putting all my pressure on that one kid. I hope he doesn't collapse because then I got nothing.
Yeah, sure. But, I mean, it couldn't start worse for the Brewers than it did even last year, right? They're starting at home against the White Sox. Look, this is going to be a really fun team for the Brewers. So I think they're going to live up to it. They're going to win the division. Unfortunately, our Bucks bet is already blowing up our parlay. So it's not even going to be financially invested into the Brewers winning the division anymore.
This Joker's been back in studio for 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's got to remind us about the busted parlay. Can you go back to Vegas or wherever it was that you were?
Yeah.
Good grief.
It's going to be like 93 there today.
Don't need that type of misery this morning. We're already wallowing in the Badgers being bounced, Gabe.
Yeah, but look, again, I think Guard's going to have this. You mentioned Marquette. Like, it was actually still a big week for Marquette because the 3 guys that you were hoping that they would lock up in their NIL deals, Nigel James is back. Adrian Stevens is back. Royce Parham is back. So they've got a good base to build forward, going forward. I think if we're talking about the 3 basketball teams, there's probably more faith that the college ones are going to bounce back and have successful seasons versus the professional one.
Let me ask you this. Are Marquette and Wisconsin's goals the same as far as expectations? Both Sweet 16 and, hey, that's a hell of a year. Let's move on.
Yeah, you make it to a Sweet 16. Obviously, once you get there, you want to go further. But just with the level that the programs are currently at, I don't think you're sitting there going, oh, yeah, those teams are going to be national championship contenders next year. I think they're in the bucket of, hey, you're hoping to make it to a Sweet 16. Maybe every once in a while you have a team that has Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky and you go to, the Final Four, or you have Dwayne Wade and you go to the Final Four. But I think more often than not, Sweet 16 is always the goal. They're kind of in that bucket of teams.
800-990-3776. Go ahead, Joshy.
I mean, it's hard to look at what Greg Gard's done in terms of reinventing the entirety of the program and how the program functions, not only on offense, But in terms of recruiting, bringing in guys, John Tonje, Nick Boyd, retaining John Blackwell, those were all coveted guys that came in and found roles that led them and made them into contenders to even get a 5 seed. They were on the fringe of the tournament back in January, and Gard was able to turn it around with the emergence of some of the guys. So to just sort of dismiss this offhand, I don't think makes a ton of sense. BYU paid $7 million for their top recruit, and then they lost in the first round. So they're not. The Badgers aren't doing that, and they won't be doing that anytime soon. So, like the terms have changed, but that's because of the landscape of it. You sort of have to get lucky with a guy you recruit in, and he ends up emerging really quick. Because like a Frank Kaminsky, National Player of the Year, joined KBN yesterday. Is he on the Badgers as a senior after not playing a ton, getting a little bit of minutes?
Well, after what he did as a junior?
Right.
I mean, unless he feels loyal, Wisconsin wouldn't have been able to pay him.
Right. And that's sort of how things change because they don't do that without him. And would they have the money to keep him there, or would he have to sign a deal of I'm loyal to Greg Gard, I'm loyal to my teammates who are sticking around, versus what the sport has become now?
Let me just throw this out there. What if Tony Bennett called Chris McIntosh and said, hey, I'm moving back to Wisconsin. I kind of want to get back into coaching. What's the eh?
I don't think that. I don't think Tony would do that because I think Tony got out because he didn't want to deal with all of the things that are currently going on in college basketball.
Yeah, but Tony's only, what am I, 50? So Tony's my age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tony's younger. Yeah, sure.
And Tony is also infamous for having early exits. Some of the worst early exits of all time.
In fact, it was the first time. It was the worst early exit of all time.
He broke history as the head coach of Virginia.
I'm just throwing it out there. Everyone goes, Bruce Pearl goes back. They all go back because it's in their blood. 57? Spry.
You putting Tom Crean back on the sideline, Chew? Huh? He's not coaching right now. It's in his blood.
Yeah, he never won a national championship, though.
Went to a Final Four.
And he had a few stumbles along the way.
How are we feeling this morning, basketball fans, hoops fans? How's your bracket doing? Are you disappointed, despondent, and frustrated over the Badgers being bounced? Let us know, 800-990-3776. Or maybe because March is the way that it is, you just move on. You just kind of throw your investment into your bracket now as opposed to the team from Madison.
Did you guys talk about any of the ridiculous things that happened at High Point yesterday?
What do you mean, ridiculous things that happened at High Point yesterday?
Well, so not just like specifically yesterday, but this is from a Wall Street Journal article. The school's motto emphasizes life skills because job interviews and client deals often happen over meals. Administrators want students to rehearse social etiquette. So they built a steakhouse, Mediterranean restaurant, and Teppanyani Grill where students can eat weekly as part of their meal plan.
Hibachi, right? They got a hibachi place?
Reservations are required. Phones are banished. Also on campus is an airplane cabin interior because sitting next to an executive on a plane could offer a golden opportunity, one young people should rehearse for. The campus concierge offers students airport shuttle service for free if they wear a High Point University shirt. Otherwise, it costs $95, a lesson in brand awareness.
I think my niece goes there.
They chartered a flight for students.
Really?
It's just someone at the university said, hey, kids, want to go to the game? Few of you hop on this flight, free of charge. Just go.
They have a bronze statue of the university's president, who is still alive and with us, by the way, and is serving in that role.
Oh, High Point's super bougie. I think I saw that there's a pool, not like for the swimming and diving team. I'm sure they have that as well. But for like, hey, I only have classes up until noon today. I'm going to go sit by the pool.
Jen, you're incorrect. Only insofar as there's 3 of them.
It's quite the rope-a-dope he pulled on me. I was like, no, Joshy. I saw the pool. It had High Point written at the bottom.
You only had one. Yeah, it turns out you only saw the North Pool. They've also got an East Pool and a West Pool. You got your choices, Jen.
I'm sitting there scrolling through the High Point catalog yesterday, and I was going, this seems pretty nice, actually.
What does it cost a year to go there?
I have no idea.
It's got to be
I saw something that listed if you wanted the special housing, you could pay $40,000 on top of your tuition. to get
full-time undergraduate tuition is roughly $48,000.
That's nothing. That's, oh my God, that's a hell of a deal.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Nothing, but I'm going to have to pick up some extra shifts. Joshy, will you take me down at Weekly Wager on Wednesday nights? I may have to start showing up again. All right, 800-990-3776. Let us know your thoughts on Wisconsin being bounced from the tournament and basically just generally Wisconsin sports right now. Gabe's solution is just wait 6 days. Brewers take the field in 6 days, guys. It will all be better after that. We've got Jason Wilde coming up next.
If you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now is the time because Pella of Wisconsin is offering 0% financing all the way until 2032. That's right, 0% interest until 2032. In Wisconsin, you already know your home takes a beating year-round. Heck, it probably took a beating this week. But the right windows and doors can improve comfort, boost energy efficiency, upgrade your home's look, and that's exactly what happened for me and the new front door I got last year from Pella of Wisconsin. One lucky homeowner will win up to $5,000 off their new Pella window or door project when they schedule an appointment at the Home and Garden Show. Stop by the Pella booth and ask a Pella representative for details. All you have to do, take advantage of 0% financing up until 2032. Just visit PellaWI.com today.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are slowing down just a little bit northbound on 41 from about Mayfair Road all the way up towards Burleigh. The only other heavy spot's going to be eastbound 94 coming out of the Stadium interchange to 35th Street. Right past 35th Street, there is a broken down vehicle, but it's out of traffic off on the right. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 52. Afternoon is going to turn cooler near the lake. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another two-man scramble tournament is underway. Play Georgia Golf Club for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by March 31st. Sign up now at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. Again, that's 800-433-8909.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
Always good to get the insight from our friend and teammate, Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today? Good morning, Jason.
Give me 1 second, sorry.
No worries. A little housekeeping here. I didn't realize that the tuition I mentioned for High Point was just the tuition, not Tier 1 housing and food and fees, which pushes that number to up over $71,000 for the 2026-2027 academic year.
About right.
That sounds about right. As the member of the panel that is currently paying for a college tuition.
Don't remind me. Double, because you don't get money. She's in Madrid right now, so it's not like, oh, we're not going to pay for housing at Ohio State this spring. So it's a double whammy.
So she's studying abroad?
Yes.
Awesome. Good for her. On your dime. Yeah, Jason Wilde joining us now on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Jason.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
We're okay. A little disappointed about the Badgers being bounced from the tournament yesterday by High Point. Trying to learn everything we can about High Point, actually. How are you feeling today as a Badger backer?
I'm fine. This is the beauty of having lost my fandom. Like, I watched the game, and I was like, well, that sucks. And I feel really bad for Dardo because I really think the world, a choir concert after that. Sydney and Paula and Maddie got home from Florida, and I didn't really think about it again.
That's great news. Great news, Jason. Yeah. Very happy to hear that. I know that was weighing on you heavily.
Yeah,
Did you lose your...
I'll say this. I'd be great as crazy cat lady. Like, I had a lovely week. Me, 7 cats, 2 dogs, and 2 hamsters. It was beautiful.
Okay.
Regular Dr. Doolittle over there.
Jason, did you lose your fandom because the football team's been so blah?
No, I lost my fandom because I covered you knuckleheads.
Gotcha.
So I started writing for the Badger Herald at UW as a sophomore, and it kind of started then. And then I have to admit, when the Badgers went to the Rose Bowl my senior year and beat UCLA, I probably have to admit that I was a little fan-ish while still trying to pretend to be a professional because, I started writing for the Milwaukee Journal during my junior year. So I've been, air quotes, professional, which Lord knows there's plenty of people that would disagree with that, for a really long time. And it just, and frankly, covering you guys, I was probably naive early in my career. Oh, Andre Rison, he's a changed man. But generally speaking, I think when you kind of see how the sausage gets made and you're kind of around guys for a while, you understand that a lot of times it's better to appreciate the art and not necessarily think about the artist. So it just all kind of dissipated, and now everybody thinks because I wear Oregon gear, I'm a big Ducks fan. The outcomes of their games just don't affect me, and so I think that really irritates Tausch because he's going to be down in the dumps big time today because he is a big, hardcore Badger basketball fan, and he was feeling really good about that team. And I just kind of shrugged yesterday and said, "That's basketball. You got the ball in the hands of your best player on your last 2 full-fledged possessions. You had the opportunities you were looking for, and it just didn't happen for him."
Well, going over to football, Jason, we finally have the full coaching staff for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe that means you'll finally get to talk to the new defensive coordinator. Who knows? But you notice on the list there is an outside linebackers coach, which seems to indicate that the Packers are going to a 3-4 base. Did you have the same takeaway, and does it really matter what their base defense is?
Yeah, you can read all about it on channel3000.com because I had to figure out a way to write about an announcement that was 6 weeks in the making, right? Like, I suppose we found out about one of the offensive quality control coaches this week, but all those other ones had all been reported for months. And so, yeah, that was the first thing that jumped off the PDF, if you will, was that DeMarcus Covington is now not only the outside linebackers coach, by the way, but the defensive run game coordinator and the assistant head coach defense, which, again, must be the longest job title I have ever seen in my career. And I was intrigued by the outside linebacker part because that is clearly a 3-4 indicator. And then also they've divided the assistant head coach job by side of the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, does that not just make all this stuff poppycock, just nonsense? It's just ridiculous,
Because,
right?
I mean, that's what you would think the offensive and defensive coordinator are, Jason. And now you're giving just another title that who knows what it means.
But couple that with, I saw they now have 27 coaches on the roster. 27.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There are some varsity football rosters in high school in Wisconsin that don't have that many kids.
Yeah, my hope would be that we can get to 53 so everyone can have their own
one-on-one coaching.
Coach. Yeah.
Holy cow.
To your other question, though, Gabe, I'm sorry. I do think it matters. Like, Goody completely poo-pooed that question at the scouting combine and said, well, we're going to run a 4-2-5. Yes, I know. We've all been told this, and I would love for Matt LaFleur to explain to me again how in the sub-package the outside linebackers become defensive ends. Even though on that running play that I was asking him about, it was very clear that there were two dudes in the middle and the two edge guys were miles outside. And that's why they got gashed for a 14-yard gain on the play that I was asking about. But it does matter. There are still going to be times when you're in your base. And it does change, as Chewy can more than adequately explain better than I can. It does change angles and blocking assignments. And, like, it matters. Let's not pretend that they're just going to be in sub-packages 100% of the time, because they're not. And the other thing I would quickly add is the one thing that does make sense in terms of hiring him and making this switch and what he likes to do is when he goes 5 DBs, he likes to have 3 safeties on the field. And obviously their 3 best DBs are all safeties in Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams, and Javon Bullard. So that part makes perfect sense to me.
I kind of get why they did it, though, Jason, because the strength against the run, you're kind of forced to run downhill because it's tough. If you're going to run outside against a 3-4, it's tough to get angles because those outside linebackers are typically outside. So
right.
you run downhill, and I think the addition of Hargrove and Wyatt coming back makes that a little more stout. But I don't really want Micah Parsons and Lucas Van Ness in coverage, which you have to do sometimes because if you send all 5, that's considered a blitz.
Right, and we've, look, those two guys, they are not Preston Smith,
no.
who, obviously was a defensive end / outside linebacker / corner under Joe Barry. I would say this. I'm glad you brought up Lucas Van Ness because, obviously when you're a first-round pick, we have really high expectations for you, and sixth-round pick, not as much. But, like, this will now be his third scheme, right? Like, for whatever you feel about Joe Barry's scheme or Jeff Hafley's scheme, like his 2 years in Jeff Hafley's scheme, he was basically hurt for both of those years. So now he's going into year 4. Now he's back to a 3-4 defense. I just don't know what's best for him. And this felt like a really critical year for him. So he, hopefully for his sake and for the sake of the defense, 3-4 is a better scheme for him, because he's been kind of, jerked around a little bit. And I'm curious to see just if he's able to finally kind of hit his stride, because, when you release Rashawn Gary and then you've got another edge guy that you drafted in the first round around the same area of pick, and he has not been super productive, you need to unlock him, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to.
Jason, good stuff as always. We really appreciate you hanging out this morning. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good. I'll see you in a bit.
That's Jason Wilde.
Wait, is he coming in?
Breaking news.
Must be.
Sounds like he is.
See you in a bit.
It kind of makes it seem like he's going to be.
Hour 15 minutes. He might be walking in the studio. That'll be cool. Jason Wilde can be heard on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. All right, I do want to get into this change of base for the Green Bay Packers defense, but there was an article on ESPN that just dropped within the last hour regarding the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. We are going to peruse it. We are going to talk about it next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you're getting ready to propose, the Jewelry Center is the place to go for the ring. The go-to spot for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. It's exactly what I did. Now, maybe you have an idea. Maybe you don't. Bring in some ideas from the Pinterest page. And the reason why I think the Jewelry Center separates themselves is the helpful team that you are going to get. Whether you go to Brookfield, Burlington, whether you go to Greenfield or Mequon, the helpful team is always going to point you in the right direction to make sure that that dream ring becomes a reality. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're looking for, they've got it at the Jewelry Center. Check out the inventory. Again, stop in Greenfield, Brookfield, Burlington, and Mequon, or take a look online at shoptjc.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94. We did have that earlier broken down vehicle right about at 35th Street. That's gone now. So we just have a little bit of a backup heading through from Mitchell Boulevard to 35th. The westbound side's tightening up right through the stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard as well. Northbound 41 starting to slow down before Mayfair Road all the way up to Burleigh. And that's it. Everything else is looking pretpretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 52. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Upgrade your wellness routine with an in-home infrared sauna. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com and check them out at the Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th at the State Fair Park Expo Center. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel, and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime. I love spring. I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers. These are amazing. Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of? Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds. Wow. I'm buying this one. How much? $185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross, $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious. Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well. Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Smalls here. Did you know there are many ways to do your taxes with H&R Block? You can go to a local office and get expert help in person, or you can choose virtual tax prep and get expert help without leaving home. Or you can even do them yourself online with live human help standing by. Whatever you choose, you can file with confidence, having H&R Block's 70-plus years of tax expertise in your corner. Switch today and file your way at hrblock.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well,
gonna have to flip that
yeah,
for me.
I mean,
hold on to it.
I know. I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just I think it's something in my brain's telling me
something is wrong, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
All right, Wisconsin, it's tournament time, and Wanna Parlay is where players go to win. From Madison to Milwaukee and everywhere in between. If you're building brackets and backing your picks, now you've got even more ways to cash in. And with brand new alternative lines on Wanna Parlay. More control, more strategy, bigger upside. I'm looking at Santa Clara against Kentucky, Texas Tech -8 against Akron, and Utah State -1.5 versus Villanova today. Don't forget the world's richest parlay is waiting. Download Wanna Parlay in the App Store today and use code JGC. That's code JGC for a 100% deposit match for up to $250. This tournament, don't just watch it, play it today with the world's richest parlay, Wanna Parlay. You must be 18 years old to play. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER today.
So within the last hour, ESPN.com has released a story by Ramona Shelburne, which details and breaks down some of the details, I would say, regarding the front office, regarding the ownership group, and regarding the relationship with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It seems like it's more of a story about the Bucks than it is Giannis.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Well, it's about the Bucks organization and how the structure and the relationships internally are sort of affecting everything we've been talking about over the last few months when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo's future in Milwaukee. So take a read of it. We'll try to give you the Cliff's Notes version. Gabe, you were perusing it during the break as well. What was the biggest thing that stood out to you about this article from Ramona Shelburne?
Well, first and foremost, and again, it kind of starts with here because Ramona sat down and had a 90-ish minute interview apparently with Wes Edens, who right now is the governor, controlling, owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, and Jimmy Haslam, who bought the Mark Lazary shares a few years back. So she talks with them, and they try to smooth everything over, but she's got a lot of sources saying a lot of different things when it comes to the Bucks, starting with seems to be some confusion over who's actually making the decision to trade Giannis. There are some confusion from other teams who dealt with the Bucks around the trade deadline earlier this year that, yes, they were talking and trying to come up with deals with John Horst, the general manager, but they kind of felt like Jimmy was pulling the strings behind the scenes. There is it seems like a suggestion that Jimmy is getting more power because he is going to be the governor in a couple of years, which is why Josh Glessing is now the president and why Peter Fagan ultimately stepped down. That seems to be implied in this article as well, but there just seems to be a general confusion over, okay, who's actually running the ship of the Milwaukee Bucks? Is it Wes Edens? Is it Jimmy Haslam? And that seems to be an issue right now for the Bucks.
Who owns more? Shouldn't be this hard.
So I think Edens technically has more. But because the way
I actually don't think it matters, right? Because they have this thing about rotating,
Correct.
controlling owner Chew.
So when they bought the Bucks Chew last decade, right? They decided to set up this interesting structure where they have a governorship, so it rotates every 5 years who's in charge in making those decisions. Now, when it was Edens and Lasry and Jamie Dinan gets thrown in here as well, they had kind of made a decision, hey, any big decision that needs to be made, the majority of the three of them needs to, it needs to be 2 out of 3. You got to agree if you're making a major move. But I don't know if that agreement still exists because you brought in a new partner and the relationship, again, in there. I think this was heavily rumored but never really mentioned anywhere about how the relationship between Lasry and Edens had kind of deteriorated over time as the owners of the Milwaukee Bucks, and maybe led to Lasry deciding to sell his shares, which he first offered to Edens. Edens did not purchase it, and that's why Jimmy Haslam came in and purchased it. But yeah, I think the structure once worked, but then you're entering a third guy into this that wasn't a part of the original agreement, and I think that's made things messy.
Yeah, but it was smart by Lasry if Giannis leaves because the value of the franchise will drop.
Oh, sure. But what we're saying is the new structure has become confusing for other executives who are trying to figure out, first and foremost, if they're interested in dealing Giannis. And again, this article does detail that, yes, there were conversations that took place about trading Giannis, although it appears that they were asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars. One executive saying they wanted all of our draft picks and all of our young players, that they were gouging the market. So that's, or gauging the market.
Gauging. They were gauging.
As soon as I said it, I was like, actually.
Could be gouging. It sounds a little gouging.
It did sound a little price gouging, didn't it? That's where my brain was.
Column A, column B
My
situation.
brain was commenting on the situation is what was happening there.
So in the article, does it sound like they're on the same page or they're not on the same page?
Well, they make it seem like they're on the same page when they're
Edens
talking.
and Haslam.
Yes,
Okay.
when they're talking with Ramona.
Yeah. Have we mentioned the fact that Eden says flat out either Giannis will sign an extension or he will be traded?
Well, we were getting there, Joshy, because I feel like they tucked that in there. And
I think it's the fourth paragraph.
No, but I'm saying they tucked it in there, and then they kind of distract you with all of this minutia and all of this information about how these guys made their money and what their paths were and all of that stuff. But yes, there is.
Eden's lost a lot of money the last couple of years.
There is a detail in there that essentially says, put a maximum contract extension in front of Giannis and dare him to turn it down.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, the quote from
You
Edens
absolutely have to.
is Giannis is going into the last year of his contract, so 2 things will happen. Either he'll be extended or he'll be traded. The likelihood you'll let him just play out the last year, we can't afford that. It's not consistent with what's good for the organization. That's not a Giannis issue. That's any player that's in their last year. And again, I think that's something that we've already kind of known. Like, this was always going to be the escape hatch for Giannis of, I'm never going to ask to be traded. But by not signing a contract extension, your motivation would be clear.
How does the timeline work, though, guys? Because, again, we have known that in this situation, everybody wants to be the good guy. In fact, we have said that this week, the Bucks sort of putting their foot down about Giannis not playing the final 14 games of the season was the first time where we were like, thank you. Thank you for finally taking the grown-up role and saying this is how it's going to go, not how do you want it to go. So, Gabe, when it comes to the timeline, wouldn't they have to trade him in the summer, or aren't they likely to trade him in the summer, which comes before the deadline of the Supermax, which is in October?
Yeah, but, I mean, you can always go to Giannis in his camp, go, hey, are you going to sign October 1st? And if he doesn't give you an answer, then you can wait until October. I mean, Damian Lillard wasn't traded to the Bucks until the middle of October.
It's a depressed asset. It's a grossly depressed asset if they wait till the trade deadline next year.
But
because they know they have to. They have no choice but to trade him.
They would trade him before the start of the season.
Correct.
Like if he doesn't sign on October 1st, then he's gone by October 7th.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't give you an answer, you got to trade him. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a flippin' depressed asset, and they ain't going to get crap for him because everyone knows he's going to play out the season and then go somewhere else, and you get caca.
So, yeah. But I know they're probably going to get similar offers that they got at the trade deadline this year. I don't think that's going to change that much. You go to his team, hey, are you going to sign? Well, I don't know. What are you guys going to do? Well, then you do whatever you can. You put it in front of him October 1st. He signs, he doesn't. If he doesn't, again, he's gone by the middle of the first week of
I
October.
tell you what, Shu, my biggest takeaway from this article that Ramona Shelburne put out on ESPN.com regarding the Milwaukee Bucks, the structure and whatnot, the relationships and whatnot, is I don't know if John Horst is making this decision.
No, he's definitely not making this decision.
It sounds like this is an ownership decision, and it sounds like it's a Jimmy Haslam decision. So every time we're sitting here going, John Horst has done everything he can to keep Giannis in a Bucks uniform. He's made moves, aggressive moves, dramatic moves. At this point, whether or not Giannis stays in Milwaukee is up to, I think, two people, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah, and they're going to tell him to get the best that he can get. Right? That's the decision isn't Horst's. It's, okay, what can you get for Giannis? We want to trade him. If Jimmy goes to Horst and goes, hey, we got to trade him, now Horst has to go find the best deal. But whether or not to trade him is certainly not his decision. Never has. Never has been.
Have we heard any more about the sitting out or I want to play conversation? Or are they still negotiating that? That wasn't in the article, was it?
No, that was not a part of this.
What are we asking?
Giannis sitting out.
Giannis wants to play in the last 14, and the team's like, forget about it.
Oh, has there been an update to that? No, I haven't seen an uptate to that. I think we'll know on a nightly basis whether or not, Giannis is in the lineup or on the floor. Again, I think the article is informative. I think the article helps understand some of the dynamics at play with that are driving this enormous decision for the Milwaukee Bucks. And like I said, I think it takes a little bit of the attention off of John Horst. Because I think there's a perception that maybe John Horst is the one driving this, but it's very clear in the way that this is all laid out that this is going to come down to Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah,
but
because like Chewy said, I mean, the price of the organization, the worth of the organization goes down the second that Giannis gets traded, which is why it's always been an ownership decision.
So do we expect Giannis to respond to this article?
No. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, they're going to ask it.
But here's the thing, Chew. If he's injured and doesn't play,
he doesn't have to address the media.
Yeah, he's got no obligation to talk with anybody. I mean,
how do you think he interpreted that though? No big deal. I kind of knew this months ago, or is he?
Yeah, again, the big part is certainly at the beginning where Eden says what we thought all along. Either he signs or he's traded. Okay, now we know that's the official stance of the organization. That's good to know. But this article is not really, to me, a Giannis article. Yes, that information is in there, and that's important information. It's more about, okay, how are the Bucks being run, who's making this decision, and how complicated things are kind of behind the scenes in the Milwaukee Bucks. That's what this article is about. And there seems to be confusion around the league of who they're actually dealing with when they're talking about, okay, can we go get Giannis?
Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776 and on the YouTube stream. Captain Matty Ice says, can Jimmy Haslam please sell his stake in the Bucks? Nothing good comes with him. And Aaron agrees, saying ever since Haslam took over the Bucks, they've been injured and bounced first round essentially every year. Not saying he's the reason, but I'm just saying. It doesn't feel like Jerry saying how bad Cleveland Brown vibes have been with him. He needs to go back to Cleveland. It doesn't feel like here in Milwaukee there is a lot of love for Jimmy Haslam, and some of that might just be that we don't really know him all that much. It also can be, you look at some of the teams he has owned and the challenges they have faced, the decisions they have made, and you wonder about who's running the team and, how good your team can be with that person who has that track record running the team. John in MKE says Jimmy Haslam has ruined the Bucks.
For those hoping that Jimmy sells, I think it's more likely it goes the other way. Just kind of based on this article, because tucked in this article,
buys up more.
Yes, because tucked into this article is details about how Wes Eden's company, the way that he made all of his money, has gone down, and how the stock price has plummeted, and how he's lost over $2 billion in the last 2 years.
Ooh.
So why would you tuck that in there? Doing the Brian Windhorst. Why would you tuck that in there? Why would this be a part of the article? If I'm putting two and two together.
Stung, Birch.
Makes me think that maybe Wes ends up selling some after Lasry takes over as the controlling governor here in 2 years.
Yeah, just write it off.
I don't know if you just write off $2 billion.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I started the day a little disappointed about the Badgers. This story on ESPN.com does not make me feel much better about the state of Wisconsin sports, if we're being honest. Okay, so maybe somebody can give me a little good news other than baseball starts in 6 days.
And we had a rule. Gabe, you know the rule. You blew it.
What did I do?
What's the rule on Friday?
Oh, no bad news on Friday.
Yeah.
Should
have held it till Monday.
Knew that was coming. Can you feel it? The thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. You know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. It's, of course, the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I told you yesterday, man, jammed, wall-to-wall, absolutely packed. The vibes were immaculate. The energy was fantastic. And I'm sure it will be there again today and all throughout the big games. Become a legend at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More information, of course, available online. Must be 21 years old to enter the casino.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Yeah, coaching matters a lot, and we've fallen short. Those are the facts. Matt LaFleur's on the clock, man. And I know he got an extension, but I'll say this. If they revert and don't get better, you're evaluated on your results.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody knows, it's championship or bust. That is what Green Bay is. And unfortunately, we've had 15 years of bust.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Looking for a dinner that actually impresses and cocktails that keep the conversation going? Head to the second floor of St. Kate the Arts Hotel and discover the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Bold, elevated dinners, thoughtfully crafted cocktails. It's the kind of place where every plate and every pour is made with intention. Come for dinner, stay for another round. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Your brand doesn't need more square footage.
It needs more wow.
When you work with Captivate Exhibits, trade show booths become magnets. Lobbies become living stories. Break rooms become culture builders.
Captivate creates experiences people don't just see, they feel.
For more than 30 years, their award-winning team has transformed big ideas into bold brand moments that command attention and drive results.
Stop blending in.
Start captivating.
Visit CaptivateExhibits.com. We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay.
Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Commercial payments at Fifth Third Bank are experienced and reliable, but they're also constantly innovating. That might seem contradictory, but Fifth Third does just that. They handle over $17 trillion in payments smoothly and effectively each and every year. They were also named one of America's most innovative companies by Fortune magazine. After all, that's what commercial payments are all about. Steady, reliable expertise that keeps money flowing in and out like clockwork. But commercial payments are also about building new and disruptive solutions. So Fifth Third does that too. That's your commercial payments, a Fifth Third better. Contact the great people at Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
We put it on the Infinity Exteriors poll. After Bucks ownership said Giannis will either be extended or he'll be traded. Do you believe Giannis will be traded before next season? Yes or no? Go ahead and weigh in on that. It's on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll. You know our friends over at Infinity Exteriors. We love having them here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. They refresh your home with roofing, siding, or windows, all backed by their lifetime workmanship warranty, infinityexteriors.com. Chew, how would you respond to the poll that we have put out into the field?
He'll be gone. He'll be gone.
And when you say that out loud, Chew, is there a feeling that washes over you? Is there a disappointment that they couldn't make it work? Is there, it's time? Like, what is your reaction when you say he'll be gone?
Thank you for your service. You know, let's maximize what we can get for him. Let's rebuild this thing. New era of Bucks basketball. Be patient. But we all know this day was going to come at some point because it does happen to most superstars. But I think it's just time to move on. Different era.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Find the next Jordan Love, right? Gabe?
What?
Find the next Jordan Love. Kind of the same feeling when Rodgers left. Like, okay, you know.
Sure, but you already had Jordan on the roster.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just really hard to have that in basketball, of that next superstar, because you're not going to be able to pay to keep a couple of guys like that long term. But it kind of feels like that's the direction that this thing is heading. Like, I can't imagine there is a move the Bucks could pull off this summer that would make Giannis go, yes, I'm going to sign on the dotted line on October 1st. So I lean towards him being gone, and that does make me sad.
Is this all a result of Dame's injury?
Mm-hmm.
If Dame's injury never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a slew of injuries between Middleton, Giannis, and Dame. You know, if any one of them don't happen at the given time in which they happen, maybe there's another run in there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bummer.
Reaction rolling in. Bucks stink, Badgers and Packers are mediocre, and the Brewers will go on a legendary run just to rip our hearts out. Good times for Wisconsin sports fans. This is not the vibes that I wanted on a Friday morning, gang, and I recognize that the article and the information does put a little bit of a damper on the vibes today. But I do think it is also good to get more information. Meanwhile, Adam weighing in on the Carbless Talking text line, he says, this decision is being handled by Jimmy Haslam, ! Are you kidding me? Yes, again, it does feel like, Gabe, even though Jimmy Haslam has not been entrenched in Wisconsin sports for very long, there's a very distinctive opinion of him here in Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, you just look at what he's done with the Cleveland Browns. They literally made the worst move in sports history.
Yeah.
I can't. Is there a worse one out there
than Deshaun
Watson? Like giving up what you gave for him and giving him a fully guaranteed NFL contract. It has hampered and set that franchise back almost a decade.
He said an unhoused person convinced him to draft Johnny Manziel.
A what person?
That's the proper way to say somebody without home.
Oh.
Living on the streets.
Ah.
He said he spoke to somebody as walking through Cleveland, and they told him take Johnny Manziel.
And they did. And they did.
Do you think it was like a Sherpa or something? There was some sort of
He framed it as if it was some sort of someone speaking to him in, like a divine intervention of sorts.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, enough of this.
Sure.
We got to bring the vibes up here, man. We're gonna restart the show. We're gonna restart the show. 8:00 hour next, and we are gonna do everything.
Talk more about High Point
in
and
our
all their
power.
pools?
No, we're not talking High Point pools. We're not talking about Chase Johnston. We're not talking about Jimmy Haslam. Okay, we're gonna find some other stuff to talk about here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, because this is no way to start your weekend. This is no way to go into your Friday, Gabe.
Nothing goes better with buzzer beaters than a cold Yingling beer. Whether you're following your brackets or just in it for the snacks, Yingling, it's the go-to game day beer. If you're hosting a watch party, stock up on Yingling Traditional Lager, or maybe you want to try Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. Great beer, great hoops, and the perfect excuse to take a long lunch break. So take advantage and have some Yingling, the oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Delays eastbound 94 starting at about 70th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to about 35th. The westbound side slowing from 27th all the way to Hawley Road. Northbound on 43, we've got backups from just before Mayfair Road all the way up to about Burleigh. And that's pretty much it. So far, everything's rolling along well. Traffic is brought to you by 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee. Your home for basketball this March. Stop in for great local food, cold drinks, and a wall-to-wall tournament action. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a high of 52, afternoon turning cooler near the lake. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yingling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yingling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yingling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated, by drinking it. Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy, creative content, and winning campaigns. From websites to video and everything marketing, visit SaturnLounge.com to tell the world your story.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
We're changing it up here, folks. All right? Good vibes only, second hour of the show.
Love it.
Let's talk about how the Packers are falling behind in stadium money, shall we? I could have rephrased that. Josh, you got the Andrew Brandt sound. So everybody knows Andrew Brandt, longtime Packers executive, basically handled contracts, famously back in the day, back in Chewy's day, right? Chewy's time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was at the end of my career, yes.
Well, Andrew Brandt had some thoughts on the conversation that we had earlier this week about the Lambeau Field potential naming rights as the Packers try to increase revenue streams, right? It's all about the money. It's all about finances. And Andrew Brandt had these thoughts. Stick with him. It's a little lengthy. It's a little meaty. But here's what Andrew Brandt had to say about where the Packers are relative to other teams in the NFL.
The issue becomes local revenues and sort of access to capital. On the local revenue side, we see a lot of teams that are able to do more with their facility, with their blueprint, with their footprint. The Packers, of course, can host a concert or two. They can host a game or two. This year it's Luke Combs in Notre Dame, Wisconsin. But it's probably one a year of each. Where their stadiums can do multiple and have a Taylor Swift event for 4 or 5 nights like at MetLife and other places. It just won't happen in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The access to capital part is we've seen over the past 2 years fractional shares of franchises for hundreds of millions of dollars, teams cleaving off 2%, 5%, even 10%. Private equity is involved, and so teams can cash out hundreds of millions, even $1 billion, and give up no control. The Packers can't do that. So what he's doing is sounding an alarm for the future. Packers are the only stadium, once Soldier Field becomes something else, without naming rights. Now, it's sacrilegious to think about naming rights for Lambeau Field, but at some point there's going to be a Pepsi Center at Lambeau Field or something like that. It just has to happen.
Chew, your reaction to Andrew Brandt's summary of it and the idea of Lambeau Field kind of being restricted and facing logistical hurdles when it comes to hosting major concerts, the weather, the timetable, allowing the grass to recover, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. That is nuts about their grass, which I respect.
If anybody's going to respect it.
Yes. But, I mean, I think that's the reason why they don't have a lot of concerts. You know, I mean, they could have a Taylor Swift concert, right? I mean, that place would sell out. She does stadium. I mean, it's 80,000.
If it's a big enough concert shoe.
Yeah.
But it's just tough, I think, to have, like you said, more than one event there a year. Because it still is pretty remote, and getting up there and parking, like, it's really hard to do something because it's just not built for that,
But
right?
essentially you have the window of when the weather gets nice, the people are going to want to actually pack the stadium to be at an outdoor venue.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking, May? Like, let's just say May.
May and June. Yeah.
May and June, you'd have to almost go every other week in order to make it, like, worth the while. To Andrew Brandt's point, right now, Gabe, the structure is one.
Yeah. And again, because I think it's tough to ask because the city of Green Bay itself wouldn't be able to support an event that big. So you're drawing from other places in Wisconsin and asking people to do that is just a little bit more difficult throughout the course of the summer, and having that many people do that. And then you bring up the grass element. So I understand where all of this is coming from, and he talks about private equity buying into some teams, but that's just basically for those owners who are now they've got more cash on hand to buy players, but they're also looking to turn a profit to line their own pockets. Like
of course, and they're probably taking that money, Gabe, and buying a stake in Real Madrid or whatever.
So the Miami Dolphins did just that, and you know where that money went? To the owner.
Yes.
His pocket.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm a little confused as to, okay, they got 600. What can't the Packers do right now that they want to do?
I've been asking this question for a long time. I think this is the first time I'm starting to get a little bit closer to the answer. And it seems like it has something to do with wanting to be the sole owners, maybe, of Lambeau Field, so then they can use that as much as they want, and they can purchase the land, have the real estate. As we know, the Green Bay Packers love to try and purchase real estate in and around Lambeau Field. That is their singular goal. It seems like it's probably connected back to the fact that they're paying the rent they're trying to get out from underneath. They're trying to short shrift the city on, and it seems like they're trying to find a way basically to convince people that the Packers should have more, probably pay less, and have more opportunity to pocket more of the cash that comes in and not have to give it to the city.
But, Joshy, they found their own loophole. For years, they found their own loophole. Because no other team could do a stock sale.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But they are limited. They are limited how often they can do that.
And what is that, Gabe?
And I believe they're limited to what they can use those funds for, too.
Correct.
What's the biggest event that the Packers have hosted recently outside of NFL games, Chew?
The NFL draft.
Very good, Joshy.
Was that a test for me? Josh has got my
Josh
back.
is a kid in class.
I just want you to know.
Blurted out
Yeah,
the answer.
100%. You are my oldest daughter because I'll ask my youngest daughter, okay, Kira, what's 3 plus 3? And Layla, the older one, will be like, 6. 6. How did you not get that? And you're like, honey, it wasn't for you, okay? And in this instance, Josh, yes, the NFL draft is the answer. The problem is the NFL draft didn't make any money for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They actually lost money by hosting the NFL draft because they had to put money forward for the bid, and they don't get anything back because it's a free to attend event.
Mm-hmm.
They say the NFL even lost money. And again, I'm not saying that is the end all be all. I'm just saying when you consider the things that they have chosen to host, it is, to Andrew Brandt's point, a one-off.
Yeah, I look at that rainy day fund and I see it going up $40 to $50 million every year. And I just don't know what this team is limited. Like, what are they limited? They can do whatever they want to the stadium in terms of renovations. Yes, they threatened around the draft, and I don't know if they rebooted the project that they were going to be doing to some of the interiors of the Packers when they were in the dispute. Josh, he was talking about with the city of Green Bay. I just don't know what the Packers can't do with the rainy day fund that they have. And that's going, it's not like that money's going anywhere. It just keeps going up and up and up. And right now the NFL is aligning and looking at doubling what they're making in terms of TV revenue. Shefty had the report last week about how the Bears were kind of broke and they couldn't make the deal for Max Crosby.
So,
the Packers wouldn't have that.
Are you saying they're crying wolf?
Crying poor.
And I don't understand why. Like, what can't, until somebody can answer me what they want to do and how they're prevented from doing it. Like, what are you looking for? What is your end goal here? Because you got $600 million sitting there, which is great. And you can use that money to pay up front when you sign big-time contracts like Micah Parsons. That's what you need some of that money for because you need a lot of that up front. Obviously, the salary cap becomes complicated that way. But I just don't know what they're looking to accomplish and how they think that they're falling behind when it doesn't seem like that from the outside.
Is some of that because we can't see anybody else's books? Is some of that, again, if we were able to see every other NFL franchise's books the way we can Green Bay because of its status, would we go, oh my goodness, they really are significantly behind in the money or operation costs? I don't know.
Because it's not like they're lining the pockets of an owner. It's not like they're, we got to make sure the owner gets X amount of the profits. I just look at that money that they've got. Again, keep coming back to the rainy day fund that keeps growing and growing and growing. That should allow them to do whatever they want to do. So what are you looking to accomplish that rainy day fund already doesn't?
Well, how do you explain then when Andrew Brandt says at the end of that 1 minute conversation or post that he put out there that it's inevitable, it's going to happen, some type of Pepsi, at Lambeau Field? How do you square that?
I don't. And he doesn't answer in that 1 minute. Like, what are the Packers looking to accomplish? How are they falling behind? They have two of the richest contracts in NFL history on their books right now. And they have the capability, obviously the salary cap's a thing, but they would have the capability with the money that they have to pay more up front. Like,
and have they gotten their revenue sharing check for last year yet? Because that thing is 400 and something million.
Yeah,
isn't
they
it?
got that check too. We'll see. Again, that all gets unveiled when they have, and it's not even a full look at the books, Jen. It's just it seems like they limit it more and more and more of the look at the books when they have the shareholders meeting before training camp opens. So we'll get that information too in July. But I'm going to tell you this right now, that rainy day fund's only going up. It ain't going down.
I agree.
The reason we don't know is because they don't want us to know.
I assume that's a public records thing, though, right? I mean, again, for the Packers exclusively, couldn't you just file a public records request and actually get an unredacted version of the Packers books?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Worth a shot. I mean, it's way out of our pay range.
Correct.
Okay, I want to be very clear on this.
I'm not well-versed in FOIAs.
Volunteering to do this. I'm simply saying it's my understanding.
You're the only actual reporter here. Like, you might be the only one who could, but I mean, of the four of us, you're the only one I have faith to actually pull it off.
I think that there is some value in putting this on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll based on everything we have heard now from Ed Policy and even Andrew Brandt's take on what is going on in Green Bay. Are the Packers crying poor? Is that a fair way to interpret Ed Policy's comments earlier this week about potential naming rights, about revenue streams, about keeping up with the Joneses, etc., and what Andrew Brandt is now saying about some of the limitations they have logistically and otherwise. Are the Packers crying poor? We're putting it on the Infinity Exteriors poll. We got to take a break. We've got Richu coming up, and then we've got Craig Karmazin. And that means the vibes will continue to uptick here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Speaking of great vibes, make it a pizza party. Going on now through March 24th, Pick and Save in Metro Market. It's buy one, get one on Screamin' Sicilian original and thin and crispy pizzas. Yep, your favorite, premium, loaded with toppings pies, now BOGO is the kind of deal that makes stocking up a no-brainer. It's perfect for busy nights, family dinners, game day spreads, especially with all the hoops you're probably watching over the next few days, or those late-night cravings. And now you're getting twice the pizza for the price of one. But hurry, the deal is good. Only through March 24th. It's the perfect week to fill up that freezer. Say it with me. More toppings, more flavor, more is amore. Once the sale ends, it's gone. So head to Pick and Save in Metro Market and grab Screamin' Sicilian original and thin and crispy pizzas BOGO while it lasts.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94 still going to be a little tight from Mitchell Boulevard to 35th Street. Flip side is the same from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard on the westbound side. Northbound 41, we've got backups from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh, and then everything is still clear around the rest of the system. Traffic is brought to you by 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, your home for basketball this March. Stop in for great local food, cold drinks, and wall-to-wall tournament action. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 52. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Upgrade your wellness routine with an in-home infrared sauna. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com and check them out at the Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th at the State Fair Park Expo Center. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Is your game plan ready for college basketball season? Fish Fry Fridays and one of Milwaukee's favorite local celebrations? Hey, it's Jen Latta, and joining me today is Luis Olmos, Director of Advertising at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luis, this is a pretty busy time of year for you guys.
It's one of the most exciting stretches on the calendar, and we've got something for sports fans, food lovers, and anyone looking for a great time.
All right, let's start with college basketball because we are certainly in the thick of it. Brackets are getting busted, and everyone is glued to the screen. What's happening at Potawatomi?
Yeah, this is the place to catch every game. We've got limited reservations still available for both afternoon and evening viewing sessions, so if you want a guaranteed spot, definitely plan ahead. And while you're watching, we're keeping high energy with drink specials like $20 Bud Light buckets and $10 off our 100-ounce beer tubes.
Yeah, it's definitely the perfect setup for a full day of games and right where you want to be if you're placing any bets.
Exactly. It's wall-to-wall action and the best place to ride the highs and lows of tournament season with a crowd.
All right, let's switch gears to something very Wisconsin. Fish Fry Fridays are back.
They are, and we're doing them across the property now through April 3rd. Canal Street Cafe has a crab cake eggs benedict. Dream Dance Steakhouse is serving a Midwest fish fry. The Marketplace has a fish sandwich. Rock and Brews has beer-battered fish and chips. And the Sportsbook is offering a classic Wisconsin fish fry.
So you can make it a tradition every week here and try something different every time you come. And before we know it, another big local celebration is coming up.
Yes, 414 Day is right around the corner, and we're going all out. We're celebrating Milwaukee with a pregame party, food and drink specials, live entertainment, t-shirt giveaways, and more. It's a great way to show love for the city and have a lot of fun doing it.
I love that. Between the games, the fish fry, and 414 Day, there's certainly a lot to look forward to. Where can everyone go to learn more?
Potawatomi.com.
That's POTAWATOMI.com.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform, not just exist. Your storytelling would inspire, not fall flat. Your integrated campaigns would create impact, not excuses. There'd be no refreshing dashboards, no waiting on a report to explain what happened. It's time to generate quality leads and turn them into customers. Let's make it happen with Saturn Lounge, your marketing partner for clear, measurable results. Visit us today at SaturnLounge.com. When marketing works, it shows.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah, how do you?
On 94.5 ESPN.
We tell you about Professional Construction Inc. all the time because they are the best at what they do. Maybe you're thinking about building a new home or a remodeling project or a home addition. The PCI team is here for you. How do I know this? Because the PCI team is here for me and my family. Every time we have a project, there's no hesitation. I call them right up. We get the quote and we get it taken care of. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but if you're ready to refresh an outdated room, they have this new interior design program. Photorealistic renderings, a mood board, a shopping list, all delivered directly to you. Talk to my friends at Professional Construction Inc. at their website, professionalconstructioninc.com, professionalconstructioninc.com.
Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play The Week in Reach-You.
All right, I have no idea the answer to any of these questions. I was not here all week, but we're going to quiz Chewy on some of the things he said throughout the course of the week. How you feeling today, big guy?
I feel good.
All right, we've got 5 questions. You get 3 right, you win. You get 3 wrong, you lose. We start with question number 1, Joshy.
Because the phone is not going to work 100% of the time. You know what does? Paper tickets.
Supposedly works 100% of the time.
There you go,
tickets,
buddy.
Gabe.
Excellent start. Good vibes.
Gabe,
yeah.
When you went on your trip, did you get a paper ticket?
Absolutely not.
Well, you're weak.
You're weak.
Because he's not 60 years old.
Why do you think the phone doesn't work 100% of the time?
Gotten in trouble.
User error. I'm a big user error, kind of guy.
Sure.
Just to be clear, you're the user in this situation, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, he's got self-awareness.
He's the user and the error.
I don't need any pops from the peanut gallery there.
All right,
okay?
we're off to a great start. 1 for 1. Question number 2.
I have a coding problem. Sometimes I don't code,
It's not a coding problem.
Oh,
Sometimes
that's Homer.
I get yelled at by management.
So I wasn't here for this either.
What's the
What word did you decide to code despite frequently saying stuff you should not on air?
Oh, sax.
Josh, you kind of set him up on that one.
But you could say it.
Hey, Gabe,
Yes,
did
sir.
you know Homer got bleeped on the show? I didn't know Homer knew the bleeps. I forget what he said.
Did you-
Josh,
No.
Yeah.
I just wanted the first letter.
We're not going to play that game, but is it your fault? Did you somehow, like...
He's a bad influence.
Yeah.
No, he just vomited it out.
Yeah, no, he called his friends cheap bleeps.
Yeah, but you can't. I thought you can say that. I know you can't at corporate events, thanks to Jen.
No, you can't say that.
Because it's plural, Josh?
When it's meant to be, like, you can be pissed, you can't talk about the other one. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Context matters. You're never going to figure out the context. We'll explain it later. We move on to question number 3. Chewy's off to a hot start. He's 2 for 2.
Probably why I looked so slow.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, my numbers.
Why did you look so slow?
89. I should have went with 87.
87 is skinnier than 89.
Yeah.
He's on a roll, man. Heat check.
Feel good. Positive vibes have got me
Yeah, absolutely.
thus far.
Man, we had to flip the switch.
Mm-hmm.
We rolled to question number 4.
It's your generation that's the problem, Homer.
I speak for no one but me.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's
Oh,
your
you're telling me it's
generation.
my generation.
What is Homer's generation to blame for?
They are to blame for that not naming having naming rights on the stadium.
For people not wanting to sponsor Lambeau
Wow.
Field.
And I stand by it.
So now you blame me and Joshy's generation for quite a bit. Now you're blaming Homer's generation. Is your generation to blame for anything?
User error. Yeah.
So now it's not even about him specifically.
Yeah.
It's just about his entire generation.
His generation's to blame for our generation, just everything that we do.
No, you guys are way too cocky. That's your problem. Your generation.
What?
He's just way too cocky.
Like
We were
those
a
hip
little more
musicians
humble.
in their complicated shoes.
Yes. 4 for 4, Gabe.
All right.
I feel like Jackson Cheerio.
Can he make it 5 for 5?
Has he ever gone 5 for 5?
One time he went 5 for 5, but that was because Josh gave Will the audio clips and the answers, but no questions, so Will had to figure it out on the fly, and then
Oh
Chewy
my
went 5
goodness, there's enormous pressure on this question.
The
All right, hey,
landlord.
don't even. I got one.
To have
I
never
don't use
gone
it.
5 for
It's
5?
yours. I guess not.
for 5. Let's hear it again, Joshy.
The
All right, hey,
landlord.
don't even. I got one for you. I don't use it. It's yours.
What did you tell Joshy you would give him?
I know this one.
Oh, my snowblower. Yeah.
That one was self-serving just to remind him.
Yeah. Gabe's sitting there going like, what the bleep, man?
No, you
I've known you
gave me-
longer than Josh.
No, you gave me the grill.
Oh, that's right. I gave you the grill.
You gave me the grill.
I just want to recap for a moment. In addition to our guy going 5 for 5, which is an unprecedented, we just learned, occurrence, Joshy snuck in a question to remind Chewy that earlier this week he promised him his snowblower.
Yep.
Yeah.
And instead of having to send the text of like, hey, man, he just worked it in to reach you.
Oh, public shaming.
That is some chestnut checkers you got going on over there, buddy. Yeah, you
Now,
should flex back there.
I just want to say this, though. Just in case.
Okay.
It's in the Blammer's barn. There's a chance Blammer might have given it away. Or sold it.
What are we backdooring here?
No, I'm just saying I have no proof of that. But the Blammer has been known.
It's a fair warning.
Yeah.
It is.
Chewy's saying if he still is in possession of one, he will give it to Josh. He just doesn't know if he actually has one.
Yeah.
So the reason why you would say that, Chew, is the Blammers had to sold something of yours in the past.
Yes. Half of my cow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
The
half
cow
of my
story.
cow. And the Blammer's coming down here.
What?
Yeah.
I thought that was strictly forbidden.
Oh, I thought it was urban legend. Like, someday it might happen, but we all knew it
because
wouldn't.
The person who actually makes decisions in Chewy's household, I thought, would never allow that to happen.
Yeah. Well, she kind of knows, but she doesn't. So.
Sounds like she might find out pretty quickly here.
But with it goes babysitting, I'm going to wonder if I regret it. Because he is high
You're gonna
maintenance.
regret it. You're gonna
He
regret it.
is
Of course you're gonna
high
regret it.
maintenance. High maintenance.
Uh-huh.
Do you expect him to be like cleaning up after himself, doing any of that stuff?
He's a grind. You guys met him. He's tough.
Joshy
very
loves
I
particular.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Joshy's his number one biggest fan.
Yeah, if I could
Yeah.
have more of him in my life, but it's perfect because I don't have to take care of him.
He's kind of an acquired taste. He complains a lot, too.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
That's where I get it from.
Again, if we just let Chewy roll for a few minutes here, he's going to convince himself pretty quickly to not have the Blammer down to
Yeah.
Florida. I don't think that we are doing enough to celebrate the fact that Chewy just went 5 for 5 on Reach You.
Yeah, legit.
It's impressive. Joshy, you're slipping. Get it together.
Well,
Next week, it might be an 0 for 5 week.
Yeah.
It might be the revenge of Joshy next week.
might have to prove a point.
All right.
Are you looking for a weight loss option that works? A weight loss option that can change your life? I wanted real goals, real change, and I decided 2026 is the year I look and feel my best. I'm Josh DiMaggio, and I'm starting that journey with Milwaukee Weight Loss. From the first consultation, their team really listened and built a customized plan around me and my goals. I'm down nearly 35 pounds to this point, and I'm feeling great. And for a limited time, get $200 off with the spring special. This program is different. No intense workouts, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, no counting calories or points. Many have found success and real results. Continue to have amazing reviews from real people who have gone through the same program. Many patients lose up to a pound of fat a day. Some people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two. Milwaukee Weight Loss has already helped thousands of people change their lives. Schedule a free consultation at 262-235-3980. That's 262-235-3980 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Milwaukee Weight Loss, the time is now.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Backups on westbound 94 from about 35th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, the eastbound side, slowing from Mitchell Boulevard to 35th. Northbound on 41. We got backups from Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. Other than that, we really got a good ride shaping up. The bypass has been nice and clear. 4394, north and southbound looking good as well as 43. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies with a high of 52. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 34. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's game night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? That's why I love my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. You can check them out in person at the State Fair Park Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, and even ask questions. Good Health Saunas has been doing this for more than 20 years, and they back it all with a true lifetime warranty, which was huge for me. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, find Good Health Saunas at State Fair Park, March 20th through the 29th.
Buying or selling a home isn't just a transaction. It's one of life's biggest decisions.
That's why clarity, trust, and the right guidance matter, especially in an ever-changing market.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
I'm John Lorenz.
And I'm Taylor Mangini. Our team delivers a white glove experience at every price point, combining expert negotiation, local insight, and genuine care.
Get started today with a team you can trust at wendorfteam.kw.com.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj?
Like, I was thinking, okay,
who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN. It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Has any market been as consistent where they only have one team than Wisconsin? We know Chicago hasn't been.
No.
Fridays with Mo.
Yeah, but until you win a championship, you can't really say that. And they've had one championship
Chewy, we're going to just create an AI. The AI Chewy can just bring up championship. We don't even need Chewy.
They've had one championship.
What, it's going to be put like a hologram over there?
Yeah. Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy, creative content, and winning campaigns. From websites to video and everything marketing, visit SaturnLounge.com to tell the world your story.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to
Craig Karmazin hanging out with us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Craig. How are you today?
Good. I'm great. How is everybody?
You're great. Does that mean you didn't pick Wisconsin in your bracket, or you did and you're unfazed by it?
I think every year I've had a worse and worse first day of the tournament where, like yesterday, I think I lost the first, 6 games somehow. Like in the Good Karma bracket, I think I'm, last. Well, there's a few people who didn't fill it out who signed up, and I had the Badgers going to the Final Four. So my bracket is awful, but my bracket is not tied to my mental state.
Craig, how does Giannis deal with ultimatums?
I can't speak to Giannis's mindset.
Because he was given an ultimatum, essentially. Would you agree? Did you read the article?
Yeah, I read the article.
I mean, you'd consider that an ultimatum, right?
I thought Ramona did a great job, as always. I think the thing you have made the mistake of probably 600 times on this show is thinking that Giannis is learning things or the Bucks are learning things when you learn them. And the organization and Giannis have had communication on all of these things, throughout the last 13 or 14 years. So I don't think the idea of because you haven't heard something before would indicate that Giannis hasn't heard it before.
But to us, Craig, this feels like a pivot in Bucks management.
Yeah, it could, but I don't. Again, I think the idea of, every time Giannis has been offered, he has signed an extension. And the team, I think a pivot in this spot would have been saying, hey, Giannis has been banged up. We're going to have to get to the summer and see if we think we want to offer him a super max, because 5 years and $270 million is a lot of money for a 30-year-old. And we're going to consider the super max, but we also have to see what the market's like, and all that, right? That would be a pivot, right? So this to me felt like, we're offering him the super max. We're committed to Giannis being the future here, and we want Giannis to be the future here. So there doesn't seem to me like there's any pivot from Giannis or there's any pivot from the organization, from my standpoint.
Talking with Craig Karmazin on the Yingling guest hotline. And Craig Karmazin every Friday, brought to you by Saturn Lounge. And obviously, Wes Eden saying one of two things will happen: either he will be extended or he'll be traded, is obviously news. But the rest of the article by Ramona kind of seems like it's a little messy behind the scenes, that teams don't know necessarily who they're talking to if they want to try and acquire Giannis. What was your take on the rest of what's going on behind the scenes with the Bucks?
I didn't think there was much there. Ramona does such a great job. Ramona is one of our teammates in LA. And, when she's working on something, I know she's always going to have a cool opening to the story like she did with the Bright Line. I know she's going to have some juicy little nuggets. And I thought the one that, would jump out from this was, that Wes Edens and Mark Lazary, at Giannis's wedding, weren't anywhere near each other. Which I think the thing that showed something is that they were obviously both in Greece at the wedding, and and Mark is no longer part of the investment group. And when this interview was happening, it was happening with Wes and Jimmy together. So to me, it seems like there's a really aligned group. And if someone doesn't know who to get on the phone, what do they mean? They don't know, sure, who's making the decision at the Golden State Warriors? I don't know. Is it Mike Dunleavy Jr. or is it their owner, or is it Steve Kerr? Right? I think Jonathan Kuminga is still wondering how his situation. I think that is the case at most teams where there's a question. Just in this case, there happen to be two investors at the top who have rotated as governor, so it might be a little tricky, but I don't think that's uncommon in the NBA.
Yeah, Craig Karmazin joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Play this out for me, Craig. What would the Bucks have to do to convince Giannis that this is a team that he does want to sign the Supermax with? Is there anything beyond what they've already done? Is there anything they can do this offseason or leading into this offseason?
Again, I can't speak to Giannis's mindset. We work very closely with Thanasis. We don't work as closely with Giannis. I have no insight into his mindset. I do have insight into the fact that I told you there'd be good mystery guests. We didn't pull Jesus for you, Chewy, and I didn't think we could. But I mean, first, any thoughts on on any of the additional guests before the surprise guests are even announced? Gabe, I mean, come on.
I mean, it's great. Adding. I mean, anytime you get the opportunity to hear Pat Murphy talk, like the dude's got stories for days, and he's an incredibly gifted and like great storyteller. So getting him on stage is a huge get for Thanasis Live for sure.
And then the Miz. I mean, like we used to talk about the Wisconsin Sports Awards as like that one opportunity to get all of like Wisconsin together, and it's kind of cool in that Thanasis has kind of picked up that torch, and it was not open to the public, the Wisconsin Sports Awards. The fact that Thanasis Live is pretty amazing. So, all right, side note, back to what the Bucks would need to do to convince Giannis to stay.
Well, let's just take Giannis out of the equation. Let's just take him out of the equation, Craig, because it obviously makes you uncomfortable to have to discuss what Giannis wants to do. What moves can the Bucks make this offseason that would improve this roster and make them a competing franchise yet again?
I look at the team that was in the biggest, spot of a challenge last offseason, where their draft picks, their everything, which was the Phoenix Suns. And they're right in the heart of the Western Conference playoff race this year. So, and they were seen as dead in the water for years and years to come. And they did a similar move to what we did in stretching Bradley Beal's contract. Wasn't necessarily as extreme, but it was very, very similar. And so I just think things change really quickly. There's going to be 3 tradable first-round picks for the Bucks this summer. There's going to be a lottery pick that the Bucks, sorry, I don't know what your bet was, but breaking news, there's going to be a lottery pick that the Bucks have as part of one of those 3 picks that the Bucks have. We don't know where that is going to fall. That could be the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th pick of the draft. Like, I think once we know what the assets are this summer, then we know what's possible. There will be tradable contracts that are expiring for the Bucks that haven't been expiring. Players who are going to be in the last year of their contract. There are players who have outplayed their contracts significantly. There are players like Ousmane Dieng and Pete Nance and, who've come onto this team and shown to be legitimate, NBA players. Like, so there's a lot here that the Bucks have to work with. Obviously, we've seen what Ryan Rollins is. We've seen KPJ when he's healthy. Do you know? How about this? When Kevin Porter Jr. and Giannis play, do you know where the Bucks rank? There's only been 19 games that they've played together this year. Do you know where the Bucks rank in net rating in the NBA?
14.
When the two of them play?
And net rating is, just for people listening, it is the way you judge how good a team is, because it's how many points you score per 100 possessions versus how many you give up. And it's not just the minutes they played, it's games in which Giannis and KPJ have both played. Where do you think the Bucks rank? Chewy said 14.
In those 19 games, I will say the Bucks are, the only reason you asked the question,
top 5, top 10.
Yes, so I am going to say 8th.
The Bucks are the 3rd best team in the NBA when Giannis and KPJ both play. Not just the minutes, the games they play. It's not an excuse. The seasons have been awful for everyone involved, but there are a lot of really, really promising signs within this team.
Craig, quickly, what's your stance on naming rights of Lambeau Field?
I think the Packers are in a really, really good financial situation, and I think that they have a forward-looking executive who wants to keep them that way, and I think people do not like change, And I think if they call it, something at Lambeau Field, like eventually people will get over it. As a fan, I love the pureness of it. But ultimately, I think people would rather have the Packers in Green Bay and competitive and not say, oh, we didn't go for this one player or we couldn't do this one thing because we wanted to keep the name Lambeau Field, right? I mean, people want to win. And so I think that's what it's about.
But if they came out and said that, because I guess the issue that I have, and if they name it, it's I kind of feel about the same way that you do about your bracket, Craig. Like if they name Lambeau Field something or sell the rights, like I'm not going to be incredibly upset about it. But the one thing that I haven't been, like nobody has said, like what are they unable to do right now that they can't already do with the way that the business is currently being run? Like, why would they need that money? Because they're still continuing to make it hand over fist, and they can't, and they're not preventing. Yeah, whatever they want to do, they can do right now with the money they have.
Yeah, and clearly they can. That's what I'm saying. They're very, very profitable, but every business has to recognize that things aren't going to go the way you want them. You could have a great January and then you could have a bad February. Now, the NFL is in a position where they are about to renegotiate their TV rights with Paramount, CBS, and their rights are going to likely go up by 50 or 60% over what they had just negotiated. They're going to reopen their negotiation likely with ESPN and other networks by 2029, and they're going to likely double the rights that they're getting now. So all of these teams are going to be absolutely rolling in dollars, but all the teams are, right? And so you need to keep up. The thing I think we could all recognize with the Packers is, well, it's not some greedy owner who's stuffing it in their pocket, right? So if they're doing it, they're a publicly traded team. We're all going to see where the money goes. So I don't think, again, if they were saying we need to sell stock, to do this, I would say, stop money grabbing from your fans again. That's kind of silly. But if they're saying they are going to do it from a corporation that wants to have their name associated with the stadium and it's going to help them keep up with other franchises, I don't know why we would have any reason not to trust them.
Greg, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great morning. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thank you. I know you Marquette fans are a little happy today, but we don't.
Why?
Need
because
to, we don't
the core three are coming back.
I mean, not me. Doesn't bother me at all that Wisconsin was in the tournament.
I am very excited about Marquette and what Shaka's doing, and my heart did break for Greg Gard yesterday. Thanks, guys.
Bunzel's celebrating their 50th year in business. This family-owned and operated meat market is a vital part of our community. I have loved going to Bunzel's ever since I moved to Milwaukee back in 2013. So make plans to stop by Bunzel's this week and grab these weekly specials. Pesto chicken stir-fry, just $9.99 a pound. Stuffed boneless pork chops, $5.79 a pound. Bone-in, skin-on chicken breast, $3.99 a pound. And Easter's coming up Sunday, April 5th. So order that Easter meal. See bunzels.com for details. You definitely want to get out ahead of that. It's Bunzel's on 90th and Burleigh, right here in Milwaukee.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Spring is here, and that means it's time for Brewers baseball.
Is a fly ball deep center field, back to the track. Bye-bye baseball, Christian Yelich.
The Crew open up the season at home against the Chicago White Sox on March 26th. Stay up to date with all your Brewers opening day coverage on ESPN Milwaukee. Presented by KB Excursions, Carbliss, and National Liquor Mart. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations in the Milwaukee area. At Johnson Fitness and Wellness, you'll find top-rated treadmills, strength equipment, ellipticals, bikes, and more, all guided by certified fitness experts who match the right equipment to your goals, space, and budget. And with white glove delivery and installation, plus flexible financing options, you can build your home gym with confidence. Visit one of their stores today or online at johnsonfitness.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Smalls here. If it feels like everybody's sick right now, you aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt that you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right in your home. It includes prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs and other common illnesses. It's in your kit the moment you need it. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no lines at the pharmacy, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook and call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Order your medical emergency kit online in minutes and it ships to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Again, that's $45 off with promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's urgentcarekit.com/smalls, promo code SMALLS.
Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Laying out on a hammock, waking up to birds chirping, and board games with the family.
What? It's not cheating.
Frank, you're scaring the kids.
Oh, come on, guys. We're having fun. It's family time.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming.
Technically, it's a loophole.
It's a children's board game. You're a grown man, Frank.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense, this elite defense.
What Kool-Aid? Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
What if you could have a spa-level sweat session at home for about 25 cents a day? I do with my Good Health sauna. It sits right in my basement. I can run down there after I get my workout in, after a long day at work. And you can see the Good Health Saunas folks in person this weekend at the State Fair Expo Center's Home and Garden Show, March 20th through the 29th. So you got a good little run there. You got a good little stretch. It's the perfect chance to step inside, compare models, ask questions, and see just how easy they are to install. Good Health Sauna has been doing this for more than 2 decades. They back their saunas with a true lifetime warranty. So that gives you peace of mind. If an infrared sauna has been on your list, you can find Good Health Saunas at the State Fair Park Expo Center, March 20th through the 29th, and tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you. Just to call back your Brian Windhorse, why would he say that meme, right? We talked to Craig Karmazin just a few minutes ago. Why would Craig Karmazin remind us of how good Giannis and KPJ have been together unless Craig is saying, hey, man, let's keep it intact. Let's bring the boys back. Let's make it happen again. Yeah. Sort of what I was reading between the lines and seeing.
Yeah, because, again, there's some intriguing young pieces on this team, and he mentioned Ousmane Dieng and just trying to make it all work and see what can happen if everybody can stay healthy. That's certainly going to be part of the pitch that the Bucks make. And then, like you said, having some first-round tradable assets, you know what that first-round pick is going to be this year, so there's a certain value that can be attached to that if they want to try to add someone. Who that could be, I have no idea, but if that's what they're trying to do in order to convince Giannis to stick around.
We put it on the Infinity Exteriors poll after Bucks ownership said Giannis will either be extended or he'll be traded. Do you believe that Giannis will be traded before next season? 84% of people agree with you, Chu. They think a trade is inevitable this offseason.
It's all about the cash. Players don't matter. Nothing matters. Your only chance is Giannis. You're going to lose out on $60, $70, $80 million.
Whatever the difference of the Supermax is to what any other team could offer. All right, guys, we tried to do our best to get the vibes up this Friday morning. Let's see if Wilde and Tausch can continue that.
East and westbound 94, just backing up a bit through the stadium interchange, 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. That's the endpoints on that. We've also got northbound 41 slowing down from Mayfair Road all the way to Burleigh. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We are looking pretty good this morning.